first time. And he was an Israeli. He was a poet. He was a womanizer. He had a ton of experience.
Oh, he knew exactly what he was doing.
And
right.
I got some head first, and of course I knew that was naughty and awful, and I shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, and you got off so well.
That's right.
But it felt good enough that I sort of said, well, I'll stay with this a little
Let me check that
longer.
again.
Let me make sure I'm alive.
And I actually had an orgasm the first time I had full-blown intercourse.
Lucky girl.
Isn't that incredible?
That is incredible. Right.
And of course, then I spent the next 3 weeks suffering because I thought I was pregnant. Oh, this must be a good view. My significant other on the road. I want to say that I am overwhelmed with the reception I have received here, and that Canada gets me.
Yeah.
Wow, I guess it's because you don't have the fundies and those little weird religious people running around. Or if you do, they're polite.
I read one of your quotes the other day that I took great hope from. I'm going to share this with people. You said 70 is the youth of old age. What does that mean? I like that.
It is exactly the youth of old age. When I was getting close to 70, oh my God, I'm going to be 70. Oh, each new number, you have to fight your way through it.
Right.
And then I was talking to my girlfriend. She said, oh, Betty, relax. The 70s is the youth of old age. And so I thought, oh. So I went out and got a very young boyfriend.
There's the answer to old age, isn't it?
I'll tell you. It's cool.
Wow. First, I want to say, it's a joy to be in this beautiful little city. I'm a visual, and everywhere I look, it's beautiful. It is fabulous. I'm very happy to be here. This is going to be a run-through, I guess Betty through the ages, how I put myself through 4.5 years of the very finest art schooling. I drew girdles and bras. I have never worn one since, ever. So the next one, see, look at the detail. I'm a double Virgo detail freak, and I'd do these little things, and I'd get paid, and I'd go to school in the afternoon, and I'd go to school at night, and I started learning how to draw the human figure. Staying with the nude, and I got to the point where I really could bang it out. And this is during a period when it was abstract expressionism in the 50s. Everybody's doing slop, sleep, slop, laugh, sleep, loop. And I kept saying, I don't want to do that. And they said, well, you're old-fashioned, you're a realist, you're figurative. Figurative, oh, darling. Figurative was the worst thing you could be called. And I'm sitting there creaming over these beautiful bodies. And then I started illustrating some of my concepts. And really, right away, I tuned into religion. Boy, that's not a good deal, So now I'm at the point where I'm coming up on 30. I'm 29, and in those days, in the 50s, it was like the last filling station before you cross the desert. You turned 30 and you weren't married. You were an old maid. Or gay. I had enough problems without being a lesbian. So the wife and I did this painting, and I looked at it, and I thought, Betty, don't be a mother. You're not. I couldn't even paint a baby. It turned out to be this. There's some kind of a kooky rag doll thing, and I said, So you make the decision. You're going to be an artist. And in those days, you chose. You made a choice. You were going to be either a wife and a mother, or you were going to be a professional woman. So this is Betty as an artist. And I knew I was masturbating too much. I knew that all along, and I thought, I got to cool out. And when you'd be painting something, I'd get on a little nipple, or sometimes a toe could do it. And I'd go, and I'd run over and I'd lock the doors and I'd pull the shades and I'd go, then I'd go back to work. And here's the thing, you get stuck, you're writing a paper, you're doing anything, and the old brain isn't going, beat off. That old orgasm energy takes you right on through. So I decided that this is really the best relationship for men and women. This is heterosexuality that functions. It's terrible, I know, I shouldn't talk that way. But it's, the woman is the nurturer, she's feeding, she's taking care of, and the man's this big baby, he didn't know what to do, and all he wants to do is suck on a titty, and all the titties go by, and that's titty dinner. And I'm living with this young man who is a tit hound, walking down the street and he's doing this. And I'm saying, Eric, were you breastfed? No, we found out he wasn't. So I encourage him to get all the titty he can get and I don't mind breast stimulation. But when someone just gets on there and give them the bottle. Wean them. Or work the whole area. Just that nipple thing. Is that okay. And here's the angry cunt. I got to tell you, is that in your face? And it was right at the time in feminism when all the guys were freaking out. They were afraid, that we were going to turn into angry cunts. So I thought, well, some of us are, and we have to express it, and then we'll get over it. And Ray picks this one to turn into the postcard that she's selling for way too much, to raise funds for the archive, for whatever that thing is. I can't say it. Betty Dodson's sex scholarship. These academics. Oh, God. I can't do that. Talk plain. Give me 3 words. String more than 3 words together and I'm lost. I'm dyslexic. So here she is, in your face, and you gave it out in Cuba.
Yes.
Is that amazing? And I think, how come they don't come and get me? I really do want to get busted, just once. They love me in Cuba. Well, I'm finding out you love me here. It's amazing. Mwah, mwah. I actually posed for this photograph for the New York Times women's page about group sex. And I didn't have an unlisted, my number was listed in the phone book. That phone of mine, when that article broke, it was outrageous. The phone is ringing. Hi, Betty. I'd like to come to one of your parties. And I bet you would, honey. And I was, what am I going to do? The phone kept ringing and ringing, and it was all these horny guys. Oh, I'd love to have to come to your party. And then all of a sudden, and I'm, fending and dealing, and I don't want to. I understand. It's okay. When we heard about sex parties, Grant and I wanted to go too. I was curious. And I finally get a phone in. It's this sweet little lady's voice. Hello, is this Betty Dodson? And I think, oh, it's a woman. Isn't that nice? She wants to know about my sex parties. And she said, filthy pig, garter, slop pig, fucking filthy pig, slop, garter, garbage. The old bag, and I hung up the phone. She called 10 or 12 times, and I was keeping a record. And she said the same words over. That was her complete list of swear words. And she'd run it, and I'd say, "Oh, hi, honey, it's you again. Do you want to come to one of my, Irish pig, fuck, suck." And then my friends came and said, "Betty, we're taking you away from the phone." And I said, "I got to stay with this. This is fascinating." I could not get. And then at 6 o'clock, she stopped calling, because I knew she was fixing dinner for her family from one of the recipes on the woman's page. I am now going to publish my own book, Liberating Masturbation. I'm going to do it myself. And I think the cover is coming up. Oh, no, this is the monograph I did. Ms. Magazine, another unfortunate experience, wanted me to write an article about masturbation. So I said, wow. They're going to come through. The feminists are going to do it. We're going to get sex in feminism. Yeah, baby. And I wrote this 18-page monograph, which was, my ideas. This was my first publishing production. I was so proud. I'm a publisher. I published a monograph. And because they wouldn't print the magazine, they wouldn't print my article, they wouldn't even edit it down, they held it for 2.5 years because they were afraid they might lose subscriptions. Well, now Gloria, she had her eye on the prize. It had, corporations, they needed money, they had to build their... Now, I understand there's certain business involved. I do understand that. And I've softened in my old age. And I'm making amends to, with a lot of people that I bad-mouthed. And I have that tendency to shoot off my mouth. So they did finally publish it 2.5 years later. And that's me doing yoga. They had a nude. That was one of the first times they ever did that. Of course, I'm not touching myself. But it was a good article. And this is the cover I put on my book, Liberating Masturbation. And what happened was that I called my editor, I called in New York. I was in San Francisco in the Castro. My book was born in Castro in San Francisco. It was so appropriate. It's perfect. And they had, from that article, they had, if anyone interested in ordering the full 18-page monograph, send $3 to Ms. Magazine and we will mail it to you. And I'm going, oh, I can't. I need to do something bigger. I want to talk about the workshops. I can't send out an 18-page monograph. So I called her and said, give me a couple of months. Give me 3 months and I'll do a little booklet. There's much more information I want to put out. So Ms., in its orderly wisdom, sends out a postcard that says, thank you for ordering Betty Dodson's Liberating Masturbation. Due to a delay in production, you will get it in October. Women are saying, what? The mailman saw this? My husband saw this? The kids saw this? Are you? So, see, they were worried about losing subscriptions. Well, they probably lost a few. Sending out a postcard. So finally, the next batch of postcards say, thank you for ordering Betty Dodson's booklet. So my name has become synonymous with master. You say Betty Dodson, and they'll go, ha, 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 masturbation. Right. And I consider that to be an honor. The drawings, these were fabulous. So you saw the photographs, and so I then took pen and ink, and I did drawings of the pen and ink. And there were 15 cunt drawings, and it was right in the center, and I would go, I'd pass it out like hotcakes. You know, I gave it to the doorman, I gave it to the guys at the post office, I gave it to this little guy who was teaching me how to, you know, do a business. And they would open the book, and it would fall to the, I think I got a photograph of it. So that's the, you know, Valentine's Day. There it is. That's the centerfold. It would go, bloop, and they go, or drawer, pocket. And I thought, oh, they think this is porn. It's so cute. I loved it. God, I had fun with that book. Then we were pussy crazy. We were going to do sheets, towels. We were going to just decorative cunts. We were going to everywhere. And someone sent me next a stained glass cunt that I had in my window for years and years and years. This beautiful stained glass pussy smiling down on me. And then we did, this is one of the ones we thought would go well with tea towels. Well, we were stoned a little, you know what I mean? I became a celibate priestess. I thought, okay, I'm just going to chill with partners and all that. And I'm going to focus on myself, and I'm going to meditate and masturbate, which actually is my favorite thing anyway. Oh. Hey. Blonde, tough dyke, blonde dyke, with my big cunt buckle. Did I have fun with that? And I didn't know too much about SM. I still don't really, but boy, I can act it out. I can pretend. 87, they want to mass market my book. About time, you know, come on. So the only reason they paid any attention to me was now AIDS. So this is now safe sex. And this is the first cover. It is pathetic. Would you look at that chicken shit cover? This book contains adult subject matter. It's about masturbation. I think that's for kids, too. It's not just for adults. I mean, I was whacking off when I was 5. It got me through kindergarten. And here are the pencil drawings. They didn't want to use the pen and ink. They thought they were too hard edge. And they wanted to put 4 pussies on a page. So I had to redraw them, and I did pencils. And they're all right. It's kind of a little more decorative, a little more abstract. It's not too realistic. But it shows women the variations. I drew 15 dicks for my book. Come on, equal time, guys. Because you do the same thing women do. I don't think this is big enough. I think there's something wrong with me. It's pointy. It's flanged. It looks like a mushroom. The color. What? They wouldn't. The salesman would not take the book around to the bookstores with penises in it. Boy, now that's a cowardly thing. You know, they don't want to be compared. Okay. Oh no, this is probably the one that killed it. What was I thinking? Oh, my God. It must... Oh, you know what I mean? Well, if you're afraid of it, just confront it. That's what I... Finally, 1996, 96, I get to do a revision, and I really pumped it up. The book is much better. This is the new cover. This has now been in the marketplace 20 years. Is that something? Yes. It's called Persevere. Okay, video producer. Now I'm in the 90s, and we're dressing for success, and everybody is success oriented, especially in New York. This is my publicity photo. I'm all glammed up. I don't even know who this is. And here's my first video of the workshop, and I'm now designing covers I'm producing little videos, celebrating orgasm, a private self-loving session. I had a lot of fun doing this. They're still cooking. They're on my website. Some stores, I love this title, Viva la Vulva. I got to do a whole tape on Viva. I got to do I love this, okay? It's better than the vagina monologues. Viva la Vulva. This is my most recent production. It was a brilliant concept. It was an accident, like most art. So this is simply 15 women masturbating to orgasm using their own specific technique, and it's one of my favorite. Now, this book is not doing well. It doesn't seem to me that people are so wild about partner sex anymore. I don't know. They want to do other things, or it's kind of like over with, or well, of course, I badmouthed a few things in the book. I kind of got carried away. I was a little hard on the G-spot. My clitoris is my sex organ. Stop digging around in my pussy. And I say, I'm the voice for women who do not have this response. And I try to keep it level-headed. And if you've talked to me a little bit longer, then I'll go nutty. But I do not have this response. And I don't feel like I'm missing anything. My orgasms are fabulous. I could probably do it a little more often. I'm older. Come on. Cut me a little slack here. So I don't think I'm missing anything. So she's in there with this viewing tube and the flashlight, and I got a whole bunch of other Seattle women here, and we're having this thing going on in my room. I don't know what the guy that owned the B&B thought was going on, but he watched us walk through the hall. And I have some scar tissue around the area where the urethral sponge would come through the ceiling of the vagina. And it was like, oh, well, it's from, I had several abortions. It's probably what that was from. Who knew? I don't know. Am I going to cry? And, I can't ejaculate. I'm a Virgo. It's a mess. I don't want to do it. Just bah. So the book may not be in the marketplace much longer. Get a copy because it's actually good. It's a good book. Oh, I have to tell you one more thing about this. I have a leg. This is going to be a mixed metaphor. I have one leg in the sex entertainment, porn, business, and the other leg I have in the academic sex therapy education area. And I'm kind of straddling this. And my friends that are sex therapists, they said, I can't recommend this book to my clients. You're talking about your own sex life. Yeah. No, we don't do that. It's not professional. I'm so glad I didn't go that route. I'm so glad I'm not professional. The end. Sex is the powerful, motivating force on the planet. It's the life force. Actually, having an orgasm is the most political thing you can do when you think about it.